But I urge everyone, find something outside of your job. Jobs are laying off people left and right. AI technology is taking over. It's getting into an interesting time. So
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Benrolins Blueprint podcast. I'm your host, Ben Rollins. I want them. Today's going to be a great and awesome episode because I have a beautiful lady in the house. She's a serial entrepreneur, a business woman, a mentor, an insurance broker, and an African lady from Ghana. And she's no other person than the one and only Ella Anderson. Hey, Miss Ella, how you doing today?
hey, I'm great. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. So I really appreciate you for honoring my invitation, and it's a great honor for me to have you on the show today. And the first entrepreneur I've had so far.
Yeah.
So
I'm grateful to be the first.
so it's a plus. So guys, today we're gonna be talking about a lot of interesting topics and some serious things as well, including financial literacy, and we're gonna be getting into life insurance. I know life insurance sometimes is a controversial topic, and we're gonna be debunking some myths and giving you some facts about life insurance. So, Miss Ella, before we start, I would just want to ask you, like, what made you go into the financial service industry?
Well, I accidentally stumbled across it in college. In college, I was struggling, bartending, serving, folding sweaters, any job I could get, I would do it. But I had a roommate. She was a white girl in my business school. I went to Salisbury University, and she never worked. Every day she's home chilling, and I'm struggling. And I asked her, "What are you doing? Are your parents giving you money? How are you paying your rent? Why are you not stressed?" And she just looked at me and she said that she took money out of her life insurance and that's what she's going to do. So that's the first time I realized, maybe these white people know something we don't know, honestly, because she said life insurance, but she didn't die. She was still standing here. So that's when we get curious. So I had to do an internship to graduate college anyway. Mm-hmm. So I chose to do an internship with a company called Transamerica. Transamerica is a life insurance company. So to graduate college, they told me I had to get a license. I had to help 10 people. And then I had to, that was basically it for the internship. So when I did that, I automatically got licensed. I've been licensed since 2015.
Wow. I apologize to my audience because most of them want to have like a background information about who Miss Ella Anderson really is. So can you just give us a background story about yourself?
Sure. I was actually born in Ghana.
Yeah.
I was born in Ghana. I came here to the States when I was 3. Mm-hmm. We've gone back and forth since then. But, growing up, I just watched my parents work. We grew up here in Maryland. I watched them work. My dad's a mechanic. My mom's being a nurse. Her going to school. They even send us back to Ghana for middle school so my mom can complete college. And everything. Just grew up hustling. Figuring it out because my dad told me if I want something, I have to go work for it. Mm-hmm. So the moment I could work, I started working. I think I was like 15. Have you heard of Lido's Pizza?
Lido's Pizza, yeah.
That was my first job, a Lido's Pizza in Frederick, Maryland, across the street from where I lived. I would walk across after school. And then my mom told me that to become financially free, I should probably go to college. I didn't listen to her, though. I, at first, thought I could do it my own way. I went and got a job at a car dealership. I was selling cars. I was 18, fresh out of high school, selling cars, doing good. I was doing better than a lot of some of these people that have been here for a while. But I looked at these people and realized they've been here for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Do I want to be here for 20 years? So I took myself to college. I went to college. But, after college, kind of going through some things, learning, being around different people, different backgrounds, meeting my roommate, I realized, maybe having this normal job is not what it is. So I actually stumbled into my salary job. Everyone was so happy for me to have this salary job after college. It was with a company called Sherwin-Williams. Have you heard of Sherwin-Williams? It's a paint company.
I don't think so.
It's a paint. Yep. It's a paint company. So if you know anything about paint, I was a manager at that store, and my salary was what, 65,000 out of college. I thought I was gonna be financially free. I thought that I made it. But I learned very quickly I was living paycheck to paycheck. All I had enough money for at that time was to pay my bills and then have enough money to drive home, get to work. And I decided I didn't want to do this for the rest of my life. So one day, someone came into my paint store, asked if she could do my lashes, and I loved it. I fell in love with lashes, lash extensions. This is almost 7 years ago. I quit my full-time job to become a lash tech. And I'm so grateful because I hit my first 6 figures as a lash tech. And that's when I realized I don't have to work for someone to make money. I started making $1,000 a day doing lashes. I don't know if you know, but lashes cost about $200 a set. If you do 5 of those, that's $1,000 a day. So when I started doing that, I was like, let me take this leap of faith. And I'm so glad I did. Never look back. 7 years later, I'm still a full-time entrepreneur. I did come back into the insurance industry because of something called residual income. Do you know what residual income is?
No, talk to me.
So residual income is passive income. It's money after you've done the work. Have you ever had a job and still got paid years later after you finished the job?
Nah.
Right? But in our industry, that's what happens. So in college, this internship I did, the 10 policies, 9 out of 10 of them to this day are still in force, and I'm still getting paid on what I did in 2015. So when coronavirus hit and my lash business had to slow down, I was like, I'm still getting money from 2015. I haven't talked to them. I see them on Facebook. These clients like my aunts and uncles, honestly. So I was like, I need more of this residual passive income. My life's goal has been to just exist and not to work. I don't dream of any job personally. And I think I found a way to do that while helping people.
Wow, that's a pretty impressive story right there. And you just said something that I think is impressive. That's residual income or passive income. Sometimes we as youth growing up, we just want the safety net. We just want anything that's going to make us feel comfortable. And we know, like, hey, if I have a job today, I'm going to be comfortable forever. I have a guaranteed paycheck, and they don't want to get into entrepreneurship because they know it's uncertain and you don't know what's going to happen. You might be homeless, you might sleep on the street, and people don't want to go through those uncomfortable moments. So sometimes it is, you have, like, I had a conversation with a guy, I think 2 weeks ago, when I was saying that entrepreneurship is not for everyone. You have to have that inner drive in you that says, oh, you can do it, and the determination, because there's going to be a lot of rough ride along the way, and you got to be ready to get through those uncomfortable challenges and situations that are going to come your way. So going through like leaving your job and getting involved in lashes, that's a big risk, and not everybody will want to take that route. So what was what made you take that route? What was your first initial reason?
I was tired of being exhausted every single day. I felt like I was working so much that I would live at my job and visit my apartment sometimes. Literally, that's how it felt. I feel like I lived there, and
Wow.
I had no time to spend the money I was making. Even if I had money, when was I going to be able to, spend time? And I think my final straw was when I saw my bonus. Sherwin-Williams is a paint store, and the store that they gave me was actually failing. It's in an area of Maryland called Damascus. Do you know where Damascus is? It's on 270 going towards Gaithersburg.
Yeah.
That store was like failing, and I'm a young Black woman. They put me in a redneck kind of racist area. No one even wants to come to our store. I would literally, because at that time they were doing a lot of new development, I would literally drive to construction sites and ask them, hey, what paint are you using? Oh, Benjamin Moore. Oh, Lowe's. If you switch to Sherwin-Williams, let me give you a deal, because I was the manager. All these construction sites from Germantown to almost to Frederick, they started switching to Sherwin-Williams paint. And I was able to turn our store, literally failing. They were going to close my store into $1 million producing store in less than a year.
Wow.
And when I looked at my bonus, it was a joke. I didn't even get $1 for every gallon of paint I sold for them. I made them millions, and I still had the same salary, still living paycheck to paycheck, still overworked, not enough staff. I got tired, and I just thought, like, if I did this for Sherwin-Williams, what can I do for myself? Let me just try, let me just see. So that's what made me want to jump, because I just felt like no one even appreciates this, and I'm still struggling.
Oh, wow. So if someone is going through, let's just assume, similar situation right now, and they have a job, they're working day in, day out to make sure everything goes according to plan or like exceed expectations, but they're not getting the monetary rewards at the end of the day. What are you going to tell the person? You're going to just tell the person, oh, stay there, or just find a way to be self-employed or be an entrepreneur?
I would tell them the reality is no job or corporation will ever pay you what you're worth. None. I don't care if you're a doctor or a lawyer. They will always try to make more off of you than you're giving them. So what I would recommend is find a way to generate income for yourself outside of your job. There's always something. The best thing to do, find a problem and solve it. People pay for solutions, right? So there's always something, but no job will ever make you financially free.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Find a problem and come up with a solution. I think that's the most important thing in life, because you have to find a problem, and problems are all around us. Like everywhere you go, you're gonna see problems. But the thing is, if you don't have that mindset of like, hey, I'm a solution guy, I want to solve problems, you're not even going to notice that, oh, this thing, you can really solve it. Sometimes you're going to see the problems, but you're complaining. Instead of coming up with a solution to the problem, you're just like, it's not for me. The government, the taxes, we're paying taxes. The taxes are not enough for the government, and so on and so forth. But if you can come up with a solution to that problem, and just find a problem and come up with a solution, if someone is willing to pay $1 for that problem to be solved, you have to like take some time and come up with a better way of like modernizing that solution to make increase the value, and see if someone can pay $5 for that same solution. And if you can get $5, try to find 10 people. If 10 people are willing to pay just for that solution, then you just got to like increase your value, and in the long run, you're going to get to another dimension. So I really appreciate you for giving us that insight. But before I want to get into life insurance, because I know you're into life insurance, what were some of the lessons that your mom and dad instilled into you at a young age?
If you want something, you better go and get it, because no one's coming to give it to you. I learned that from a very young age. I actually come from a background of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
My grandma, so I go by Ella, but I'm actually Stella the third. My grandma, my dad's father, was an entrepreneur. She was a nurse that opened up a pharmacy in Ghana. The pharmacy is still standing in Ghana to this day. My dad is an entrepreneur. He's a mechanic. He has his own shop here in Maryland. So just kind of seeing that kind of, inspired and drove me. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's good. So you already had the entrepreneurship DNA.
I think so. I
Yeah.
definitely think so. And I'm from Ghana. If you go to Africa, we are hustlers. Everyone in Africa is selling something.
Yeah, for real.
From puff puff or meat pie or something, water. Everyone's selling something.
Oh, wow. So what are some of the common misconceptions about life insurance you encounter on a daily basis?
That it's expensive. They can't use it while they're alive. People think it's not worth it. It's a scam, whatever. A lot of different misconceptions. Yeah.
So when you hear life insurance, right? Because the financial industry, there are different like branches. Why do you choose life insurance specifically? Why not auto insurance or any other type of insurance?
Because if I'm being honest, life insurance is the best kept secret to wealth in America. And when I realized that our communities need to know about it. Like, there's so many misconceptions, because let's be honest, would they really want us to know that this vehicle can bring generational wealth, generational income, generational financial freedom, breaking a lot of curses. How further would we all get ahead if our parents knew to get a life insurance policy that grew cash and now we have $100,000 cash that's tax free that we can touch and do whatever we want with? No one really told us. So when I saw this, I saw a big window of opportunity. I'm really big on empowering our communities to do better financially.
Yeah.
All of our parents have worked so hard. We don't want that for ourselves and we don't want that for our kids. So I'm just thinking there has to be something. And I realized the missing piece was life insurance. It's life insurance. That's the only thing no one teaches us about. But if you go to these wealthy white kids, they all have policies. It's not a coincidence.
And the thing is this, right? People hear about life insurance every day, and they have like life insurance agent come and some people come knock at the door and like, hey, I'm a life insurance agent. But the thing is, most life insurance agents are so aggressive that sometimes they don't tell you the truth. They want to hit the numbers. So what advice would you give somebody who really wants to have an insurance plan but don't know the right insurance plan to get?
Do your own research. Any company, carrier, or plan, you can call the carrier yourself and ask questions. As a client, as an agent, they will tell you yourself. So if someone's not being honest with you, you can find out if you do your due diligence. But in any industry, there's bad people. There's bad, shady car salespeople. There's shady servers, bartenders, whatever, right? In financial services and life insurance, there are people who are just trying to make a sale. But there are also people who are willing to take the time to educate you, to make sure you understand what it is. If someone's trying to rush you into a decision for life insurance, which is supposed to be for your lifetime, I would say, maybe take a step back and take a look. For me and my agency, all my agents know we lead with education. We want people to even understand why they're doing this to begin with. It's not just take this life insurance. This is what this life insurance is going to do for you while you're alive. This is what it's going to do for you in retirement. And this is what's going to do for you and your future generations when you pass, right? So we kind of just break down each part of the policy. And there's different types too. So I guess it depends on what someone is selling. But do your own due diligence.
But so if I may ask, what's the best type of life insurance? Because we hear about like time, permanent, whole life. Like what's the best type of insurance, life insurance?
It depends on your goal. If you're someone that says, look, Ella, I want to build a whole bunch of cash value. I want to become my own bank. I want to have, a tax-free source of income. An IUL, an Index Universal Life Policy would be perfect. Index Universal Life policies are policies that allow you to invest money into the stock market indirectly. It allows you to get the gains of the market with no risk. It's kind of like putting insurance on your money. If there are losses in the market, which are bound to happen, the insurance company will take the loss. If you're someone that says, Ella, I don't have a lot of money to spend every month, but I want my family to be covered, get a term policy. Term policies are cheap. They cover your family. You can get $1 million term policy for $100 a month, $500,000 for $50 a month. That's a great coverage. If you pass away, your family loved ones are protected within that 30 years. So it just depends on everyone's goal, what they're trying to accomplish.
So let's assume you take the term policy for 30 years, and then after 30 years, you're still alive. What happens?
After 30 years, if it's just a normal term policy, it just expires.
It's expired.
But
and you don't get anything.
You get nothing. But there is a term policy that I love. It's called ROP term, return on premium term. After 30 years, if you don't pass away, you're still alive, they give you all your premiums back, everything you paid. So imagine your car insurance. If you don't get into a car accident, if they gave you your money back, you would be okay with that, right?
Yeah.
They won't do that in car insurance, but life insurance, you can do that. And because I'm a broker, keep in mind, I have over 50 different companies, thousands of products that I can choose from, shop around. So I don't just have one product to sell.
So let's assume, let's hypothetically, you meet a 30-year-old guy, right? And he says, hey, Ella, I have a wife. I got 3 kids. I want a good policy that's going to ensure a bright future for my children in case I pass away. What insurance plan? What insurance policy are you going to give the person?
I would probably recommend for the whole family, everyone get an IUL. Put away 25, $50 for your kids. They're young. They're young enough that, the market can grow a lot of interest in there for you. For, someone in their 30s and their spouse, I would recommend them overfunding an IUL, maybe putting 300, 400, 500 a month into this. This is going to give you access to a lot of cash. So let's say you get a policy, you're funding it over time. Now you have $500,000. If something happens, you could probably relax. Or if you want to take an investment, you can take that money and use it there. But it just depends. But keep in mind, the older someone is, if they don't have a lot of time, they have to fund the policy. So it depends on someone's budget. If you have the budget and you're already saving 200, 300, 400 in the bank, I will just show that person, put it here instead. See what this gives you access to instead of putting it in the bank.
So what's the difference between a whole life insurance, term, and permanent?
So a term policy is for a certain amount of time. A whole life policy is a permanent policy. An index universal life, an IUL, is also a permanent policy. An IUL is a whole life policy on crack. It's a whole life policy that's attached to the stock market that allows you to grow a lot of interest. A normal whole life policy gives you maybe 4 or 5%. 20 years ago, that would have been great. But right now, 4 or 5% doesn't even outpace inflation. If you want to outpace inflation, your account has to do at least 8, 9%. If you've been looking at the inflation rates lately. So if you want cash, index universal life is perfect. Whole life is great if you just have a whole bunch of assets. You just want a whole bunch of life insurance. You don't care to grow too much cash. Whole life. Better for older people who don't have a lot of time to grow their money. But IULs, you've probably seen my Instagram. I preach about them because every young person should have one.
Every young person.
Absolutely.
And then what if the person say, "Oh, I have a 401k. I don't need to get IUL." What are you going to tell the person? Are you going to tell the person the 401k is a scam or what?
I hate to say it, but I will say it with my chest. I believe the 401k is the biggest scam in America. 401k was never intended on being a retirement account. It was just a way for the average person to kind of, get back into the stock market after the Great Depression. And I don't know about you. I don't know anyone who has retired from their 401k. Nobody. Not a single person who has had this vehicle. And what I'm seeing is because it's not guaranteed and people don't know it's not guaranteed. When you put money into a 401k, it's not even an account. All 401k is a tax code 401k. Go to the IRS website, look at the tax codes. It's right there. All it's saying is how the government can tax you. It's saying, please tax me deferred, not now. Don't tax me now. Wait until I'm ready to retire and then tax me. That's all 401k is. And it puts people at a disadvantage because it's not secure. Imagine you giving your life savings to someone and telling them, hey, invest it however you want. When the market crashes, you're taking all the losses. My mom has been a nurse for 20 years plus. In 2019, 2020, the beginning of coronavirus, she lost $17,000 in her 401k because the market was crashing. And, my dramatic African mom, she's like, what should I do? What should I do? Luckily, I knew that I could take her retirement and put insurance on it. You can get a privately owned retirement plan called an annuity. It's an insurance product. So it guarantees growth, but it also guarantees no losses. So now I know no matter what happens, the market could crash 1,000%. My mom's money is good. But most of America, that's not the case. So if someone wants a 401k, cool. But I just believe that people were tricked into thinking that this vehicle is going to do things that it hasn't done for anyone.
So so what you're trying to say is the 401k is not the best option.
Absolutely not. It's not the best option. No government sponsored plan. 403B, TSP, they're all the same. They're not even accounts. These are tax codes. If you look at anyone's 401k, the account does not say 401k. It's just showing you how to get taxed. So you definitely should look at other options outside of your job.
And then there's one thing about life insurance. I've had a lot of conversation with some life insurance agent who wanted me to sell a policy to me. And one thing, sometimes when they come and they're trying to be aggressive and just telling me, oh, this how is everything is just going to be sunshine and rainbow. It's just going to go up and you're going to get money. I'm coming back to you. The reason why I'm saying that is it true that with life insurance, especially the term policy you're talking about, or was it no, not the term policy, the IUL, the IUL. So is it true that you're gonna get your cash value all the time, or sometimes you're gonna lose? Are you always gonna win?
It depends on how it's structured. What I will say is not a lot of agents are structuring IULs properly. They're structuring them as if it's still a whole life policy. So it's not doing what it's supposed to do for the client. When you have a policy that you want it to actually grow cash value, you have to put the least amount of actual life insurance. So a majority of their money is going towards building cash.
Yeah.
So for example, someone's cost of insurance could be $25. If they're putting $500 a month into this policy, the insurance company is going to get paid first. Cost of insurance goes $25. The rest of that money, the $475, is going to go towards building interest. We have accounts that'll give you 9%, 15, 18, up to 24%. Some even go uncapped. But the reason people feel like, oh, it's not working, it's a scam, is because some life insurance agents, what they're going to do is the opposite. They're going to give you a whole bunch of life insurance that maybe cost you about $400 a month.
Oh, wow.
And the rest of that 500, the $100, the remaining is going to go towards building cash value. Which do you think will grow faster? The 475 or the $400, right? I mean, sorry, the $100 that you're putting in. So it just depends on how it's structured. It puts me at a disadvantage though to do the client right. I take a lot of hits on commission because we don't get paid. And I'll repeat this, we do not get paid to help you build wealth. We get paid to sell you life insurance. But if I'm giving you the least amount of life insurance, what does that do to my commission? It cuts it in half or even more than half. Sometimes I take big hits, but I'd rather do that and know, okay, now I know this client is in the best position. What are they going to do then? They're going to bring me a lot of referrals. I always have people to talk to because I am putting people in the right position. Those agents who are just trying to make this quick sale, they may get you today, but they will not get you tomorrow. No one is going to come back to them and their business dies. And then they're not building thriving businesses and agencies. So it just depends on the agent and how it's structured.
Oh, I like that. Thank you very much for that insight. And I heard something that said you can utilize your life insurance policy to buy a house.
Absolutely.
How does that work?
A beautiful concept called infinite banking.
Yeah.
I love it. I actually love it. And I wish we knew about it earlier. So the idea is this. When you get a life insurance policy, people don't know that you're actually entitled to that money while you're dead or alive. You do not have to die to touch the money in your life insurance. So let's say someone in their 20s or 30s, they know one day I want to buy a house and maybe I don't want to have a big mortgage. They could get a policy for $500,000, $1 million policy. It may cost them $50 to $100 a month. But if they're putting in $500, $1,000 a month, like thinking like, okay, I'm going to use this towards my savings. And also with the idea in their head that this is growing interest for me. I'm not just putting here, it's growing interest for me. They can accumulate a lot of cash. Now, once they've accumulated the money they need to purchase the home with the help of the interest, and this is not just any interest, it's uninterrupted, compounded interest with no losses. Imagine your bank account giving you 19% interest. They won't. But this account will. So as you're putting money into this and you're seeing it grow, 5-10 years goes by, you look at your account and now you've accumulated $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in cash value. They're going to let you take that money out. Purchase your house cash, do whatever you want with it. You never have to pay it back to the policy. And the beauty of it is your account is going to still reflect as if you took nothing out. As if you took nothing out. Because what you're doing is, instead of taking the cash you've been accumulating, you're going to leverage your death benefit. You're going to leverage that $1 million. Even though you took $500,000 out, it's going to still reflect. And then it's going to continue to grow interest on that money as if you took nothing out. So you're allowing your money to work for you twice. So if you are someone with not the best credit, if you can get a policy, start funding it. It's going to give you access to cash that you could use to purchase your home.
Is it every policy?
Every properly structured index universal life, IUL,
Oh, got you. So you got to be properly structured.
have to structure it that way.
So if it's not properly structured, you can utilize the benefits.
You not in the way that you want. You won't have access. You'll have access to more life insurance than cash, and that's not what we want. We want the opposite. We want people to have access to cash, leveraging their life insurance versus you just paying for a whole bunch of life insurance that you're never gonna need because you have to die to touch it.
So let's assume someone say, "Oh, okay, you structured the life insurance properly, and now the premium is like $100 a month. So how much how much of that premium goes to the agent, and how much goes to the account?"
So that's another misconception. People think that they're paying us. We get paid by the insurance company. So regardless of what you do with your account, that doesn't affect what I get paid necessarily. So what I get paid is pretty set. It's based on what the client is putting away monthly on the low end. So if someone says, on the low end, I'm going to put $100 a month away. Okay, cool. But we can structure it so they can possibly put $1,000 a month. So that even though the 100 will go towards their cost of insurance, the rest of it is growing interest for them. My commission is not really affected. I'm not paid by the client. I'm paid by the insurance company.
Oh, got you. Because that was one of the misconception I had. Because people, what I was thinking was sometimes some of the insurance agent, they hijack the price so they can fit in the premium. That's what I was thinking.
Some can. It's some can do that,
Yeah.
but they don't get away with it for long because people are gonna look at their account and be like, "Dang, why am I paying $400 a month for life insurance when I thought that money was gonna be growing interest for me?"
So if they can do that, how is that possible then? If it's the insurance company that pays you.
So as an agent, we control the illustration. We're the ones putting in the numbers and stuff. If
Yeah.
a client is looking at it and they don't know what they're looking at, if a shady agent could easily, structure it to benefit them more versus the client. But in the end, clients will find out. People, it's 2024. People have apps. They can log in. They can look at their account balance. They can look and see how their money is being distributed. Yeah.
Got you. So if someone wanted to go into life insurance today, which policy is the best? Without, if we wanted to take the IUL minus the IUL, which other life insurance policies? Awesome. If it's structured properly.
So if you just want life insurance,
Yeah.
any whole life would be fine. Any term policy would be fine. The reason we stress the IUL is because we're not offering this for the life insurance. Having life insurance is important. We're offering this so people have a supercharged savings account. They have a vehicle that's going to grow interest for them tax-free. So again, it depends on their goal. If they want life insurance, I will sell you a whole life. I am not above that. You can have that. But if you say you actually want to use this for a financial vehicle while you're alive, definitely the IUL. There's nothing else out there. I know I keep talking about it, but there's I've looked, there's no other vehicle that will give you interest, no losses, and it's tax-free. Nowhere.
And then what if someone tells you like, "Oh, I have a life insurance with my employer"?
That's fine. When you leave your employer, you cannot take that life insurance with you. And a lot of people don't realize these life insurance policies with your job they're not a lot of money. These are usually group policies. So when they tell you, "Oh, you have $1 million policy," you have $1 million policy, but it's shared with every single person in that company. When you pass away, they're going to give you your portion. So let's say 100 people work there. It's going to be 100 times, divided by the million, then they give you your portion. That's how that works.
So the life insurance with your company is not the best option?
No, it's usually pretty overpriced. And also, there's no cash value. If there was cash value, you think they're giving it to you?
Oh, wow.
Absolutely not. It's not yours.
Yeah, because most of the times when agents talk to clients, they'll be like, "Oh, I have a life insurance policy with my employer." And when they ask like, "Hey, how much is the cash value?" They don't even know. Sometimes you don't even have the information about the life insurance policy. I, for one, I don't even know. I don't even know, but I think like every employer has a life insurance policy for their employees.
Yeah, check with your HR and look at the specifics because it was eye opening for me. One of my friends, he passed away. Before he passed away, he was a manager at the San Francisco airport for security. He had a great job, great job. They only gave him $12,000. Well, his family $12,000 when he passed. The guy was what, 27? $12,000. It barely covered his funeral expenses.
Oh.
And it was because it was a group policy. So it's not usually enough coverage. When you're looking at coverage, think about, will it cover your expenses, your house, your cars, your debts, right? So if you're only relying on your job's coverage, you're probably significantly undercovered.
Got you. So what are some of the unique challenges and considerations for young adults when it comes to life insurance?
Not too many if you're young. I think it gets challenging when you get old because when you're older, because life insurance is based on health. When you're young, it's the best time to get life insurance. You're young, you don't have health issues, you're not on medications, you're not seeing any doctors. The moment something's wrong with you, it gets so much harder to get people insured. Sometimes there's people that are uninsurable and we have to kind of go a different route for them. So I say it's harder when you're older.
Oh, really?
Yeah, way harder.
So when you're younger, you don't have to worry too much about life insurance.
When you're younger, your life insurance is going to be the cheapest it'll ever be. You have a very low cost of insurance because you're low risk. You're healthy. You're most likely not going to pass away right away. When you're older, that's when it gets expensive. When the moment you turn 50, you really need to consider getting something because at 55, it almost doubles for the same coverage.
Got you. So what are some of the things to consider for families when children they're choosing the life insurance?
I would say the different carriers and the rates, how much rate of return are you getting? You want to get the most rate of return. If there is a company that's going to give you 24% and one that's only going to give you 9%, go with the one that's higher. Go with the higher cap.
So the company have the power to choose how many percent they want to go with.
Absolutely.
Oh.
But the client also has the power to choose what carrier they want. Yeah.
So how can life insurance be used to protect businesses and their employees?
Oh, in so many ways. So we put a lot of IULs or different policies on businesses because one, you can create a income source, not income, but like create a banking source for your business. Let's say, I don't know, you need new supplies, you need to do a repair. Instead of going to a normal bank, just go into your business life insurance. Also, a lot of it is good for key persons. So let's say you are the CEO of your company, you have employees, you have people that rely on you. If something happens to you, that money is going to make sure your business continues to grow without you being there. So business owners can do a lot with them. And the best part, because I'm a business owner, is the write-offs. Everything is a write-off. It's a business expense to have my life insurance policy. I'm investing, but it's a business expense. So guess what? I'm going to have to write that off. So it's a really, really, lucrative, good way for business owners to kind of give themselves an extra layer of protection in multiple ways.
Got you. So we've been talking about the client's side of the equation. I want to get to the agent part now.
Okay.
So what if someone is looking into, someone is thinking about like being a life insurance agent? What are you going to tell that person? Is it a good industry to be in?
I think it's a great industry to be in. Life insurance, financial services, period, breeds the most millionaires than any other industry, more than real estate, more than even doctors, lawyers, more. So if you look and see what industry is most likely going to make you a millionaire, number one is a professional athlete, so like LeBron James, Serena Williams. But if you're not athletic like myself, number two is financial services. This is the second highest paid industry in the world. Coming into this industry, I'm just seeing like the way we make money is a bit different. So when I see like people that are making 20, 30, 40,000 a month, now it's kind of feeling more normal to me. Now it doesn't feel like, oh, that's so crazy. Like when I made my first $10,000, in a month, I was like, I could get used to this, right? So for me, I just think it's just very well paid. Yeah.
Got you. And I mean, I can't really dispute that fact because I don't really know much about life insurance. I'm still learning, and so far I've gotten some insightful wisdom when it comes to like the IUL. I'm gonna like take a look at that and see how I can get some benefit out of that. So I'm urging the audience, your due diligence to find out which life insurance policy works for you. And if you think life insurance is not your thing, then don't do it. But if you think, oh, there's some value here, just check it out and see. And we're gonna drop her information. So if you have any further questions, you can like get to Miss Ella Anderson. Hey, Miss Ella, what are some of the unique challenges you face as a life insurance agent?
Well, being a African American woman in a white male dominated industry, there's so many challenges. Number one, I think just getting people to trust that I'm telling them the right thing, only because there's been so many different financial services companies that were shady, or they didn't do right by people, right? There's bad insurance agents and things like that. So it's kind of hard trying to get people to unlearn some of the things that they've experiences that they've been through to kind of like trust someone else. Another thing too that's kind of challenging is, I would say, I don't know. I don't know. I want to say it's too challenging. What else?
That's too challenging?
No, because you asked what challenges do
Yes,
I
you
face? I would say, I guess for myself, maybe not being taken seriously in the industry because I don't look like the average agent. I don't look like the average person coming to talk to you about life insurance, right? So I guess that for me personally is the biggest challenge.
So if someone, let's just say, I want to become a life insurance agent today, what are some of the things I got to look out for?
Make sure you pick a great agency and pick a great team. It really matters. I've been with a lot of different companies. Started off with Transamerica. I did Primerica for 1 week. Didn't like it because they were very like recruit, right? And I didn't really learn anything. Pick an agency that's going to actually teach you something. The reason why I decided to work with PHP is, one, our agency leads with education, actually teaching people. Like the first week I was there, I learned more than all the time I was spent with Transamerica. I was like, wow, this is what I wanted to know. They actually are very upfront with the information. Find people who can lead by example. Follow people who are living the life you want to live. Follow people who have reached the heights you want to go, right? Who can actually teach you something. A big part of why I got started with the agency I'm with now is our CEO is Patrick Bet-David. If anyone knows who Patrick Bet-David is, he's a Syrian-Iranian man in his 40s. He started our agency 12 years ago. He realized that people that look like him don't have access to these products. So meeting people like himself, having mentors who look like me, making the money I want to make. One of my mentors, his name is Kahende Thomas, this Nigerian guy. He just hit $1 million in income last year. Last year he had 1.2 in income, and it's unheard of around me to see that. So I say pick an agency that can actually teach you something versus an agency that's looking for you to go do something for them. Go recruit for them. Go find them applications. Go do for them, because that's how it felt with other companies.
Do you think mentorship play a major role
100%.
in your success?
100%.
Really?
100%. I am so grateful for the people that have poured into me, encouraged me, people I can process issues with. Coming into this industry, I just wanted to make a little bit of money, but now it's like I'm leading a team. Now I'm actually building leaders. I'm teaching others how to make money for themselves. Right now, it's not just about myself. And without mentorship, I wouldn't have seen the other side. I wouldn't have seen like, okay, Ella, you're making money, but what about this person? What about that person, right? So I really enjoy giving people that opportunity and to become a mentor myself, because if no one poured into me, I wouldn't be sitting here. So I feel like I have to pass it forward. So yes, mentorship, 100%. 100%. You are the top 5 people you spend the most time with.
Oh yeah.
They say that all the time. And I just look around, growing up, I didn't really have any super ambitious people. My parents told me go to college, get a small 9 to 5 job, work for 40 years, retire. That was their plan for me. That's what they did. But I wanted more than that. And I want people around me who want more as well.
I like that. So what you're trying to tell me is you only hang out with like-minded individuals.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
That's good. Hey guys, you heard that. Find people who are like-minded or people who want to improve their lives. People who want to like get to another dimension and learn from them. You grow together. But if you're just hanging around losers, unfortunately, you're gonna be a loser. And Miss Ella, what is the long term? What are some of the your long term aspiration right now?
Right now, my long-term aspirations is I want to make a big difference back home in Africa, in Ghana. When I go home in Africa, it makes me really sad because it's 2024 and it still looks like it's the 1970s. The same taxis, the same road, the same systems. Nothing has changed. Every time I go back to Ghana, I just feel like I went back in time. But if you look at places like Dubai, when I was a kid, Dubai was a desert.
Yeah.
Look at Dubai now. And the issue is a few things. The infrastructure in Africa is not that great. Our leaders in Africa need some improvement. And there's no one really there looking out for the people. Everyone is looking out for themselves. Everybody. And when I went to Ghana recently and just did a small project, I built a house for my mom so she can retire. And just being there, just talking to the people, like just to fix the road. You know what they told me? They said I have to go ask the government. I have to go to the highway officials in Ghana and pay money. And when I asked, they said they've already paid, but no one came and fixed it. And it's because we have such corruption. So I'm doing all of this, honestly, to be able to go back and give opportunities to people in Ghana. I believe that without money, there's no power. If you want people to listen to you, to have influence, you have to have money.
Yeah.
So my goal is to make as much money as I can to be able to be in those rooms with the leaders in Africa, with those people who can make a difference. I'm one person, but it can start with one person, right? I don't live in Africa, so I'm not in survival mode. So I kind of see things differently, right? So that's a big reason why I do it. Because when I go home and I see my cousins and people, the only difference between me and them is my mom was brave enough to try and go for a visa, and she won a visa lottery. That's the only difference between me and them. Otherwise, I would also be in Ghana, in the village, doing the same thing they're doing, selling meat pie on my head in the streets, and it's because they just saw opportunity. So that's my goal.
Oh wow, that's a pretty impressive goal, and you just touched something I consider our problem when it comes to Africa. Our leaders are not visionaries. They just think about how they can enrich themselves and their family, and they don't care about any other person. And if you look at the landscape, not only Ghana, some people might be watching now thinking, oh, Africa is, or everywhere in Africa is a desert or is a dumpster. Nah, there's some good parts in Africa, but there's some villages too. But the thing is, our leaders neglect the people. They don't know that people are the most precious assets you can ever have. And we have the youngest population in anywhere in the world. Africa, like the average population in Africa, I think if you want to check the age, it should be like 19 years old. 19 years old. We have the youngest population, and we're not utilizing it. And if our leaders don't start thinking about, hey, how can we equip this youth for a better tomorrow, it's going to be like a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad that today the youth are standing up for what is right. And they're trying to hold their leaders accountable. Even though it's tough, if you see, like most African countries are going through like military takeover. And the problem with those military takeover is you don't know the motive behind that. So you can't say, oh, it's a revolution. Oh, nah, it's going to be better. But it is what it is. Africa is always going to be Africa. But we hope that tomorrow it's gonna be better.
It has to be better.
Yeah, it has to be better. We'll pray. So, Miss Anderson, I just want to round this thing up. So, what are some of the advice you're going to give my audience now who are looking into getting into life insurance?
Even if it's not life insurance, I urge you, learn how money works. Learn how money works. How do you expect to win this financial game of life if you don't know basic financial concepts? Basic, right? I believe if people take time to educate themselves and truly become financial literate, they will make better choices. A lot of the mistakes our parents made is because they didn't know.
Yeah.
We have a lot of opportunity. We have a lot of resources. Let's not waste it. Another thing too, guys, I would really urge you guys, especially in this current economy, find a way to make extra income. Being a life insurance agent is not the only way to make extra money, but our industry does thrive through recessions. So if you need extra income, will welcome you with open hands and mentor you and show you how to make passive income. But I urge everyone, find something outside of your job. Jobs are laying off people left and right. AI technology is taking over. It's getting into an interesting time. So just be wise, learn how money works, so that you can make the best choice. Because ignorance right now is not bliss.
Yeah.
Those who stay ignorant, Patrick Bet-David actually said it. He said that the paranoid will come out on top of this financial crisis. Those who are paranoid will survive. Those who are just like, I don't know, I don't want to know, they're the ones that are going to get hit the hardest. Because a good point that Patrick made last week is the economy right now, guys, think about it. We have never lived through something like this before. This is going to be historical. Like, our kids are going to hear about this and be like, you were alive during that time? Like, even with COVID, right? Right now, the US dollar is heading towards collapsing. We're past a recession. We're headed towards an economic depression. Remember the Great Depression, guys? That's where we're headed. If we're not careful, America one day will turn into like Venezuela.
Oh,
You feel me?
yeah.
Third world country. Seriously, the US dollar has never experienced a collapse. That is what the world reserve.
Yeah.
If that collapses, what does that look like for us? So let's just be wise, guys. Stay on top of what's happening in the economy. And my last piece of advice, get a mentor. Find someone who's doing better than you and stick to them. Let them teach you something new. Because if you continue to talk to your same 5 broke friends who complain about the same job, same life, and do nothing about it, you will continue to be the same. My life changed. It only took one person to just introduce me to a different, lifestyle. So find a mentor, find someone that you want to be like. If it's me, come through. We will always welcome you. If it's someone else, stick to them. Stick to them. Yeah.
Thank you very much for
Absolutely.
that answer. So if there was one advice you could give to your younger self, what would that be?
Don't doubt your dreams. What you want is achievable. Because honestly, the things I have now, the way I'm living now, was a dream growing up. I never thought I could even have a car or anything. We didn't grow up with money. So I would just tell my younger self to just, don't be limited in your dreams. Keep dreaming big. Don't be limited. Don't limit yourself, because anything in this world, you can have it.
I like that. Is there anything you want to add before I end the episode?
Follow me on Instagram. I'm Ella Talks Money. Check my website out, theellaanderson.com, and book a meeting with me. Just learn, simple financial concepts with me. It's free. You do not have to purchase anything. I'm going to educate you, and if you want to make a choice, cool. But I urge you to at least check it out. And if you're looking for extra income, I'm always looking to work with new people who actually want to learn. Most of our agents are very part-time, so 2 to 5 hours a week. Most of our agents are making about $1,000 to $5,000 every single month with a life insurance license that you can get in 2 weeks or less. So if you're looking to make extra income in a real, actual booming industry, I don't have enough agents. So please let me know and we can talk.
Yeah. Miss Ella, thank you very much
Absolutely.
for coming to Benrolins Blueprint today. We're going to drop her Instagram on the description below, so make sure you check it out. Hey guys, thank you very much for tuning in for today's episode. It's been a great one. I've learned a lot of things today. I didn't even know a lot about life insurance before this episode. So I took some note in my mind. I'm gonna write it when we're done. So thank you very much. Keep on liking, sharing, and subscribing. See you in the next episode. Benrolins Blueprint comes to an end. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.